Hello, I'm Dave Dietz, host of Cold Coffee and Stale Donuts, where we take a few minutes to learn about our incredible staff here at Ritter Insurance Marketing. Welcome to our next episode of Cold Coffee, Stale Donuts. Today, I have our director of our call center, Susan Forsythe, with us. Susan, welcome to Cold Coffee. Susan, how long have you worked for us here at Ritter?
I'll be 10 years in April.
10 years.
I know.
So Susan, when Susan first started, prior to her starting, we had, I think, what we called a call center, bits and pieces. Certainly more focused, and still today, more focused on agent recruitment, less about getting the direct sales, even though we do have a component of that. But when we first brought Susan on and started our call center, we were in our old building, and we actually had 3 separate buildings, and they were across the street, and it worked, but much better now when we moved into our new building, and now we're all on one floor, we're all together. So I get to see them a lot more, which is a good thing. So Susan, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to ask you questions, and it's kind of just bam, bam. So your favorite sports team?
Philadelphia Eagles.
We're looking good this year.
Looking good.
We're looking good. Thank you, Giants, for that trade.
Yes.
Favorite food?
Probably pasta.
If you're going out to see a movie, favorite movie?
I don't know if I have an answer for that. I enjoyed some of the movies I took my grandson to when he was younger, like Despicable Me and some of those kind of movies. But I'm kind of just like, I'm at home, I'm using Netflix or whatever streaming service.
Perfect.
I'm not going to the movies.
If you're listening to music, your favorite music genre?
Again, it's pretty wide open. I mean, I like some country. I like classical music. I have some experience there because I did classical piano for years, so I do like classical, but I like everything. Country to classical and everything in between.
I use Pandora, and yesterday, after all these years, I found the button that shuffles through all of the different genres I use. So it's like a whole new world. One minute, I'm listening to some crazy loud music, and the next minute, I too have like probably more opera than classical, but I'm good either way. So if you're playing a board game, favorite board game?
Monopoly. My grandson loves it, and he loves to beat me. So,
if you're heading down the street, you need something quick to eat. Favorite fast food?
Probably McDonald's. I usually regret it afterwards. I'll say McDonald's.
You know, lately a big answer has been Chick-fil-A. But I'm still an old McDonald's guy.
I like Chick-fil-A, but I'm not on that bandwagon either.
We're getting one down the street. So they say. I mean, for many years, probably about a half a mile from our office, there's been this spot, and they keep telling us we're going to get something there, but then I never see them building anything. So hopefully we get that soon. The next section here is this or that. So wine or beer?
Wine.
Roller coaster or merry-go-round?
Merry-go-round, because I'm a baby. I don't like roller coasters.
Beach or the lake?
Beach.
Spicy or sweet?
Probably sweet.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
And a book or a movie?
I'm going to go movie.
All right. I'm a movie guy, too. I know they always say the book's better.
And
I'm
that's
like,
true
well,
sometimes.
You know, maybe not. But the acting was pretty good. So tell me about your family.
I have 2 kids. My son, Dan, is in Philly. He's a civil engineer. And my daughter, Becky, is a contracts manager. She's a remote worker.
Oh, okay.
And then I have 2 grandchildren, Mia and Xavier.
All right. So, call center, I kind of said, hey, we do both direct to consumer and talking to agents. What I'm always amazed, and every week we have our management meeting, and I'm always amazed at the number of calls that we make. So first, roughly how many people are in our call center?
Right now we have, I think it's 15 plus management.
So we have 15, and on the average week, how many outbound calls do they make?
Anywhere between 4,500 and and up. I mean, I would say average week is probably more in the 68 to 7,200 calls.
Yeah. It's just amazing that we make that many outbound calls, and we're still receiving inbound calls.
Yeah.
A couple of the programs that we've had in the past that we've either done away with but still are servicing. We did have a PDP referral program at one time. We did have to stop that, but we currently have our ACA referral program. So we do get inbound calls where our agents are referring clients to us for the ACA. I've probably talked too much, but tell me something that the call center does for our agents to help them with their business.
Well, we don't deal directly with agents much other than the referral program. However, with the books of business as an organization, obviously we're helping that agent by buying their book of business when they're ready to retire. And that's usually the reason. And we service that book and we try to make it as smooth a transition as possible. So I think that can at least alleviate some concern on the agent's side that their clients are going to be taken care of. And we've been working very hard to keep building that relationship with those clients that used to be with one agent. Now they're with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those, when we first started looking at buying books of business, one of our first things that we wanted to make sure was that we weren't just buying a book of business and letting it just fall off the books, that we wanted to have a team there that could obviously answer questions, but also, make sure that each year their plan, hasn't made a big change, what we call that service work. So I think that certainly is something that we do. I don't know that everybody that's buying books of business has the same philosophy, but I certainly think that helps. Anytime I've talked to an agent that's talked about selling their book of business, their number one question has always been, are my clients going to still be taken care of? It makes sense because most of their clients are in their community. They're still going to run into them, and they don't want to run into them and say, hey, you've left and I haven't heard a thing. So, well, that's it. We got through. I want to thank you. We will see you next time for our next cold coffee and stale donuts.